Hello guys, welcome to the stream. So today we're gonna be doing some Mythic Plus testing in the beta realm. By the way, whatever is going on in the beta realm today is going to be live next Tuesday on live realms, with the exception of the hero talents. So basically all the talents we have currently in the beta are going to be live next Tuesday, which is really good because we, like, Red Paladins were kind of left behind because we got like the old version of Retribution Paladin to test in the pre-patch, which wasn't okay, you know, because in pre-patch you were supposed to play what's the latest, you know. Anyways, that's going to be fixed on next Tuesday, so it's all fine now. But we're gonna be doing some testing today. I want to play some Herald of the Sun. Herald of the Sun has some weird interactions, especially because it doesn't, well, it scales really good with crit, and at the same time it doesn't scale with crit because, well, Dawnlights doesn't crit, and yeah, that's the main damage source from Herald of the Sun, you know. So it's a source of damage that doesn't crit, but it does scale well with haste. Since it's a dot effect, it does stick more often with haste and all those things. So we're gonna test it today with Crusade. I like Crusade even though it's bugged still. Hopefully Blizzard fixes that bug with Divine Purpose. If they fix the bug with Divine Purpose, I think Crusade is going to be the way to go with Herald of the Sun, just because it has so many dots and dot effects that makes the haste from Crusade so much more valuable. Obviously we're gonna use it with Radiant Glory, just really good. If you get the extensions on the Crusades, it's really powerful. We're gonna use this talent setup, so I'm gonna link it down in the description of the video. You wanna test it yourself. You know, it's nothing like super min-maxed or anything like that. It's something that is working for now. It does pretty decent damage. I'm gonna release a video of one necrotic wake run that I did earlier today, and show you guys how it normally functions on like ideal situation. You know, there wasn't many deaths on that run, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's go and do some testing. Let's try to join some keys. I would actually make my own key, but the problem is I'm not a tank, and keys without a tank don't fill very fast, you know, so that's the problem. So I just have to join people with a tank. So let's try to do this 10 mists of Turnaseed. Another 10 mists should be fine. Arakara? I've done some Arakaras. I haven't finished that dungeon though. Although I don't want to play with augmentation. I don't know, I hate augmentation, man. I think they were a mistake. that spec is very weird, and it's gonna be meta no matter what. Next expansion, mostly because of the tank nerfs. Tanks are very weak, and augmentations just make them normal. So if there's not like a damage requirement to do keys, augmentation is always going to be meta because of that. Helps too much on healers, helps too much on tanks. Oh, let's do a Siege of Borealis. That's a fun key. Hopefully we can get in. Oh, by the way, if you're curious, this is the gear that I'm using. Obviously you can't see the actual gear that I'm using because it's gonna swap whenever I get to the dungeon. I'm gonna get scaled up to, I think it's, let me check something. So I get scaled up in dungeons up to heroic Mythic 1 or something like that. So yeah, 623 item level in dungeons, so which is basically Mythic 1 or full heroic gear, which is pretty good, you know, but we're not still fully scaled at at a level that paladins are gonna be good. I think Retribution Paladins are gonna start kind of weak at the start of the next expansion, mostly because of the mastery changes, you know. A lot of you guys are like used to paladins being strong at the start because of the Retribution Paladin rework, but this is not going to be the case. You're gonna start pretty weak next expansion, and you're gonna get a lot stronger the more gear you get. At the end of this first season, I'm thinking Red is going to be in a really good place, and after that, the next patch of this expansion is gonna be like really good for Reds because we're gonna get our mastery to 100%, so our judgment is gonna always crit on every single hit. Not crit, but proc the damage effect on every single hit. We're gonna do a ton of damage. Mr. Warbishop, thanks man. I really appreciate the support, man. So yeah, let's try to get into some keys. Yeah, just a warning, you know, don't expect Reds to be doing the same as they were doing in Dragonflight, because Blizzard made Dragonflight Red, I think, kind of in a hurry, just to put it out there. So they made our base damage really high, made us not really need too much to scale. And yeah, basically that, because that's the reason they nerfed mastery. So they just put a patch on it, you know, just a little band-aid to fix us. But now they had time to work on us. They buffed the mastery because they know they can make us weak at the start, and we're gonna scale into monsters eventually. So yeah, that's the situation on Red at the moment. So don't be scared if you're gonna be a bit weak at the start. You're gonna be strong eventually. Yak, thanks for the sub, man. Really appreciate it. It is fun, right? Spamming Blade of Justice is so fun, man. Because Blade of Justice is basically just another Divine Storm. It works exactly the same. The only caveat of Blade of Justice is that your tank has to kind of like stack the mobs pretty close, because the AoE range of like Divine Storm is like, it's really huge. It's around you like 15 yards, but the Blade of Justice is on the target and it's around 10 yards around that target. So sometimes some tanks can get stuff stacked and it's kind of annoying, but if they can do it, it's really fun because you can spam that on top of Divine Storm. You get big expurgation damage because of the dot stacking. You get the Blade of Justice AoE damage that got buffed recently, and you got Divine Storm. So yeah, a lot of AoE.
An excellent choice.
Oh, we will refine. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be able to get portals, no problem. If someone has to be worried is the Frost DKs. Frost DKs currently in the beta are just monsters, and most of their damage comes from auto attacks. You know, like they don't even have to press buttons to do their damage. They just auto attack stuff, and like that's 25% of their damage. So if someone is gonna get nerfed, it's not us. We're fine. We're pretty safe in AoE situations, which is most of Mythic Plus dungeon stuff, you know. Damn, we can't get into a key day. People are picky today. Yeah, if someone's gonna get nerfed, it's Frost DKs. I think Red Paladins are pretty safe. Garrett, man. Thanks for joining the stream. What's up? Just trying to join a key, but no one's taking us. Sometimes that takes a while, you know. Yeah, I don't have really good score. I don't know why it's not going up. I have some 10s and stuff, but it doesn't go up. Like I only have score for 2 keys for whatever reason. Might be a little bit bugged. I'm just joining whatever I can. To be honest, anything I join, I can blast it. I'm pretty confident on my skills with this Herald build. Like this thing I'm using here. It's pretty fun to use. I stopped using just during Executioner and started using a bit more of Imperial Legacy. Because in theory, it's the same. Since they buffed Divine Storm by 25%, just buffing that buffed 25% Divine Storm by another 25%. makes it around the same as the procs from Judge, Jury, and Executioners on Final Verdict hits. Around the same, you know, and it works both in single target and AoE, so I just thought it was better. Garrett, oh yeah, I'm rocking these trinkets, by the way. I'm using the Skarmorak Shard, which is really good because it gives you a ton of mastery every 1.5 minutes, and then you can get like passively more mastery whenever you kill stuff in Mythic Plus dungeons, which happens pretty often, so you're always gonna get that stacked up. And then I'm just gonna use the Sun Soul Stone of Battle. You know, this is the basic thing that you get from creating a paladin. It's gonna get scaled up to whatever level of dungeon you're doing, and mastery is just so good for us. I don't think there's a second trinket that is as good as this thing scaled up. The problem is, in live servers, we're not gonna get this. You know, we have to pick some of the other trinkets from the selection we have here, and there's only one that I think I'm gonna use if I ever get it. It's the egg. No, not this egg. There's another egg. Let me check it. This one that gives you stacks when you move and stacks when you stay still. Where is it? I think I deleted it. Let me check here in the journal. I think it's from the raid. Trinkets, let's check it out. Yeah, this thing. Obinax, the Mercurial Egg. This would be my second choice if I didn't use that, like the Soulstone trinket. Mostly because it gives you just plain stats, you know. When you stay still, it gives you a bunch of strength. When you move, it gives you the best secondary stat, which most of the time should be mastering. So it just gives you a good balance of those two primary stats. It's kind of weird to use it at the moment in the beta because you get scaled, so some of your stats move without you kind of being able to control. So I'm just gonna use the Sun Soul Stone of Battle for now. But yeah, my second option of trinket would be that, the Obinax Mercurial Egg plus Skarmorak Shard. There's another good trinket, that's the one from Grim Batol that we can't get from the vendor at the moment, the Kadros something, which is also really good, but that doesn't have the passive mastery stacking. So yeah, this one is a bit better. Pre-patch, yeah, in pre-patch I'm using Whispering Incarnate Icon plus the blue ball. I don't remember what's the name, but I can show you here in pre-patch. Let's go to Dragonflight. Where is Aberus? Okay, so it's this Ominous Chromatic Essence with Mastery. So yeah, Ominous Chromatic Essence plus Whispering Incarnate Icon, I think, are the best things that you can use in the pre-patch for Mythic Plus dungeons. They just give you flat stats, and since Red scales so good with stats, you're just gonna be blasting, you know, in Mythic Plus dungeons. If you are doing raids and the boss lasts longer than like 3 minutes, so basically just end bosses, you know, the last maybe 2 bosses of a raid, you can use the anvil, you know, the pocket anvil. It still holds up. I'm very surprised it still does, but it's only on long fights. For anything else, I would just use stats. Yeah, Cal. If you do some like simple math here, for example, mastery is around 40% more valuable than any other stat that we have, you know. And Blizzard made it that way because they want Retribution Paladins to go like they were back in Legion and BFA. We were a class that normally started weak and then started scaling and got stronger and stronger. So we're going back to that same style. But we do need stats, that's the problem. So I just want to warn people that first patch of the expansion, we're gonna start a bit weak, you know, we need stats. So you need to get the gear by the end of the first the first gearing of the patch. You're gonna be stronger, you're gonna feel that mastery, because there's a point where our mastery is going to hit 100% of the times, you know, the judgments, and that makes a lot of difference. For example, this is the last key I did. This is Necrotic Wake, and this was my breakdown of damage. I did like let's put it 1.6 million damage overall. It's pretty good, but we are missing a lot of stuff, you know. I'm missing haste. I was using only 25% haste on this run, which is a bit low with the Crusade, because we need to stack that ASAP, you know. And yeah, even though my haste was low, my mastery is around 50% or something like that. We did pretty decent damage, but there's stuff that we're missing. For example, our Hylar's Judgment is only 3.9% of her damage with 50% proc chance. So that means whenever we get 100% proc chance on this, it's gonna be basically 8%. So it's gonna be even higher than things like our Wake of Ashes. So yeah, we are gonna need a lot of scaling to do our damage. Gonna start a bit weak. Eventually gonna be monsters again. It sounds weird, you know, because like dragonflight changed so much of Red Paladins. It was intentional though. Blizzard wanted a lot of people to play just Red Paladins, you know, and test them out and all those things. They had to do like a fast patch. They couldn't fix mastery. I think they were cooking something with mastery, but they didn't have enough time. So they just said, okay, fuck it. Just nerf mastery, make them scale with bursts, and we'll see what happens next expansion. They basically did that, and just let us scale with bursts and gave us a bunch of base damage. It was fun though, you know, because you could get a naked paladin and just do a monstrous amounts of damage compared to other specs. So you need mastery, then decent amount of haste. So haste is going to depend on how comfortable you feel with haste for most of the things. Simulations are going to tell you also how you're gonna feel with it. In live serves, for example, I'm using like 97% mastery, I think 35% haste, and then I'm going for like 43% critical strike. And that feels pretty fine with me. I don't need more haste because I can't press buttons fast enough, you know, with the latency I have. I play with like 150 ms, so maybe if you have a better latency than me, you can play with a bit more haste. But for me, that works. So yeah, that I would say about our stats. Yeah, strength, mastery, haste until you're comfortable, and after that you get some crit. Crit is not bad for us, but for depending on the talent set, on the hero talents you're gonna pick up, crit is going to be more important. For example, Herald of the Sun doesn't scale as well as Templar with critical strike, because there's stuff from the Herald of the Sun tree that don't crit. For example, you can't double dip on the second proc from Luminosity. You know, the second hit of this thing is not gonna crit, so it's just gonna do the damage of the main Hammer Frat or Divine Storm. Downlines also doesn't crit, which is very odd, but it doesn't crit, so it doesn't scale as well. The only thing you're getting of value from crit of Herald of the Sun is the Burn to Ash, because you extend the duration of your Truth's Wake, and that therefore your damage over time stuff does more damage. But yeah, that's the most like scaling you get from crit. But with haste, for every I think 30% extra, actually no, you get a lot of ticks for extra haste. You know, you get more ticks of your dots depending on your haste rating. I think 100% haste rating gives you about 66% more damage from dots or something like that. I'm not sure about that, but I think it's that. Haste is really good with dot effects because it doesn't have like diminishing returns or anything like that. It just gives you extra damage. And Herald of the Sun is basically full all dots. I'm surprised we can't get into a key. Damn. There's no more 10s. I wanted a 10 or 11 or something like that. This is my friend, but he's doing DPS stuff, so we can't join that. Oh yeah, I was talking about stats. Okay, so Templar is different. For Templar, you want to use actually Avenging Wrath Might. This is because Templar does scale really well with critical strike, mostly because of the hammers, you know, the Imperial hammers. Whenever they critically strike, they do AoE damage around them, and Blizzard buffed them a lot. They started at 70%, now they're 100% of their damage is gonna be dealt the splash damage around them. Not only that, you also get damage reduction from this thing, so anything that hits those hammers is gonna deal 5% less damage to you. That's why I mostly say that Templar is a lot sturdier than Herald, because Templar, yes, they nerfed Sacrosanct Crusade. We all know this. Yeah, they gutted this thing to the ground. But Templar still has like a flat 5% damage reduction on every single ability. You know, as long as you're hitting critical strikes on those things, you know. So yeah, Templar is a lot tankier than Herald of the Sun. Herald of the Sun can heal itself, you know, but you have to survive the hits. That's the main thing. Otherwise, other things from Templar is that it's burstier, a lot burstier than Herald of the Sun. So I can see that Templar is going to be used at the start of the expansion just to get through the first levels of Mythic Plus. You know, just burst stuff, things die fast, just get your keys up. And eventually you're gonna use Herald, because Herald does a ton more damage if stuff lives a bit longer because of the dot effects. That's my take on it. And Templar is going to be, I think, a bit better for raiding, mostly because a lot of the things they do on the hero talent tree buff like single target stuff more than Templar Herald does. Okay, let's go back to Herald of the Sun. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Herald of the Sun is gonna need a bit more stats, you know, a bit more haste, and just more time to scale. Well, Templar, it just does damage. You know, it's like you can take Avenging Wrath with 20% critical strike and it's gonna just do work. But it's gonna stop scaling at some point. The thing about Crusade is the haste scaling from Crusade is multiplicative. So it says 30% haste, you know, you get from that, but it's never 30% haste because it's multiplicative depending on your own haste. So it's gonna be like, let's say you have 35% haste. Okay, so I have 35% haste on live. When I have full Crusade, I have 85% haste. So basically that's giving me around 20% more free haste because of its multiplicative nature. So it might say 30% haste and 30% extra damage from Crusade, but it's a lot more. Yeah, Gentle, I'm actually seeing that as well, you know. Templar just blows up things really, really fast. Like the Light's Hammer hits so damn hard. Even though it only hits 5 things, in some dungeons that's just enough to be super strong. For example, Mist of Tinoseed, the new, what's the Dormant place? Let me remember. There's dungeons. No, dragonflight. Silver Within. Nope. Current season. Green Battle. Green Battle, from what I played, is like a 5 target dungeon for the most part. Mist of Tinoseed is 5 target dungeons. Stone Balls is kind of 5 target dungeons. Arakara can be a 5 target dungeons because most of the little trash dies really fast. Yeah, those places are gonna choice. Like stuff is gonna die super fast to Templar. Sure, I can show talents. Just a second. So this is what I'm gonna use today. Hopefully we can get into a key to, you know, I've been trying to get into a key since the start of the stream, but people don't get me, you know. Oh, by the way, you can go Divine Purpose. This is mostly my preferential choice. A lot of simulations tell you to get Vengeful Wrath instead, which is fine, you know, but for the most part, this thing does very little damage. Like in my overall, in this necrotic wake, it did like 2% of my damage. For divine purpose, you have to think about it. 10% of your total holy power spender stuff. So divine storm did 20% of my damage, and final verdict did 5. So that's 25 plus, let's say 26. So 10% of that is like 2.6% of my damage. While, for example, if I used the other talent, Vengeful Rat, it's 50% of my Hammer of Rat stuff. So if we do 50% of my Hammer of Rat, that's only 1% extra gain on overall. But if we do 10% of my total holy power spender stuff, it's 2.6. So yeah, divine purpose is gonna do more, but the thing is, with Vengeful Rat, you're gonna do a bit more priority damage, which in some places is more important if you want to time the key, you know. But you know me, I like to do a lot of AoE, and it's really fun to do AoE, so I'm just gonna use divine purpose, you know. Yeah. Oh, Serialite is gonna eventually scale more. It's gonna... okay, Serialite is a bit better than Divine Arbiter. Mostly because Divine Arbiter is gonna give you around 1.5% of your damage. I already tried it. It's not as good because you're also losing uncapped AE. Searing Light, you have to remember, is not only the Searing Light. It's also like around 1% in Consecration free damage, because it drops like the big AoE, and then it drops a Consecration after that. So depending on the dungeon, it's gonna give you a lot of more value. While Divine Arbiter, when I tried it, it only gave me like 1.5% of my damage overall at the end. And Divine Arbiter doesn't give you that 5% extra damage to single target or Holy Strike stuff. So it's basically just the damage. It's not as high as Searing Light. Searing Light also got a buff where it now procs from your High Lord's Judgment Mastery. So eventually you're gonna be able to proc Searing Light from every single judgment hit. But that's gonna happen once you scale up to around 90% mastery in the War Within. You know, currently we've seen the power of having 100% mastery in pre-patch. It's really strong. Searing Light does like around 4% of your damage and like 1% of your consecration damage there. Eventually it's gonna be really good. Divine Arbiter, after they nerfed it and removed that 5% Holy Strike damage, I think kind of got left behind, unless you want to do like priority target damage, which is fine. You know, there's maybe situations where you do want to do priority target damage, but I think Blizzard has made Retribution Paladin a more of an AoE centric class, and that's fine, because you guys have to remember that dungeons are now tyrannical and fortified, so you have to find a setup where you have people that are going to do the AoE and you have someone that's going to do single turret. So I'm thinking most of the setups that you're going to find on people doing higher keys are going to be like two people doing big AoE and one guy that's going to be focused on priority damage. So Red Paladin can be that one guy, that one of the two guys that's going to do big AoE. You know, focus on what you're strong, not focus on what you're kind of mid. You know, yeah, we have priority damage, but Red Strength has always been AoE. So I think we should focus on that mostly, you know. Yeah, but that's what I mean, you know. We do currently we do pretty decent damage on both sides. We're not so far behind in single target damage. We're pretty decent at it, but our main strength is AoE damage. So we have to find, you know, group composition. That's the beauty of World of Warcraft, you know. You have to find a composition where you fit in. So you find someone else that does great AoE, I mean single target, you do great AoE, and then you find someone else that does like kind of half and half, and then you have a good count. I don't log my runs, sadly. I should start doing it though. I have to fix one thing. I don't have my heal or my bars. This happens every time I log into the beta. Where's my eternal flame here? Okay. Let's keep queuing keys first. Give me a second. Let's put 11s. Another 10s and stuff. Damn, there's nothing. Everything is full or doesn't have a tank, so we can just keep talking about red. I love talking about red. Actually, the disparity between AoE and single target for red has gone like from like I think 20% to around lower than 10% now, because we don't have to take as many points in AoE stuff. They, for example, whenever it gets next week, it's gonna get to live servers, but we only have to invest 1 point in Blessed Champion to get the 4 target hits. What other thing we, for example, don't have to invest a point here with consecrated consecration. Now it's just baseline for us, so we can invest that point into somewhere else. For example, I'm using Imperial Legacy, which is a talent that works both in AoE and single target situations. If you want more AoE, yes, you can sacrifice your Serial Light and just put it into Divine Arbiter, you know. We have a lot of flexibility now on what you want to do in a Mythic Plus dungeon. I myself, I'm gonna focus more on AoE, because I think that's the strength of Retribution Paladins, and I'm just gonna focus on strengths, you know. If, for example, my group doesn't have a priority target person, of course I'm gonna try to do more priority damage. But if we have that, I'm just gonna do AoE. I don't care too much about priority. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. By the way, this talent is Judge Jury and Executioner is pretty good. The only problem is it loses too much value in single target situations because it does nothing. Literally does nothing for single target. You get the proc, but you don't get any extra damage. So yeah, that's the main problem. You can probably pair it up with the Imperial Legacy if you lose a point here or there, but I think Imperial Legacy will do a bit more after the buffs to Divine Storm. They buffed it by 25%, so if you buff that 25% Divine Storm every 20 seconds with another 25%, basically comes a Judge, Jury, and Executioner proc every 20 seconds, and it's guaranteed, you know, after you throw a judgment. Oh yeah, let me show you the opener then. We can do that. Well, I try to get into a key. Maybe someday I get in. Everything is full. I could do a lower key, but things die too fast. So basically for Herald the Sun, you want to throw Blade, Judgment, Wake of Ashes, something like that, you know. That would be your basic opener. So what I did there was, well, Judgment, Blade, Judgment, Wake of Ashes. You know, we're kind of wasting one Holy Power there, but that doesn't really matter. After that, we want to throw either Divine Toll or Final Reckoning Final Reckoning, spend, Divine Toll, spend, and keep going from there on. Actually, I'm going to show it better. Just a second. Let my cooldowns go back. Kind of messed up because I wasn't using this thing. I wanted to show Imperial Legacy. Yeah, there's been some, for example, when I did a Mist of Dinner Seed with Frost DK, I kind of fell behind of him. Not by much, but I did fell behind. But I think that's mostly because of current tuning. Like, Frost DKs are like monsters at the moment. And I wasn't too far behind him. But even though I was built, like, I used Templar for that run, and Templar is the best talent setup that you can run for like 5 targets and stuff. He's still like did so much damage. I don't know. I know actually what he did. It's just his out attacks. Like Frost out attacks at the moment just blast stuff with frost damage. They don't have to even press a button. and that thing does around 20% of their overall damage, so it's pretty strong. Yeah, I think Frost and Arcane Mages are the only two classes that at the moment have done more damage than me in the Mythic Plus dungeon. Anyone else kind of falls behind. Warriors give me a run for their money, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, Red's like the monster in AoE and Mythic Plus. Okay, let me show you the rotation again. I kind of messed up there. Okay, so it's Judgment, Late Judgment, Wake of Ashes. And yeah, okay, now I did it correct. I do it kind of fast, so it's kind of hard to describe what I'm doing. I can explain it after. So yeah, the opener is Blade of Justice, Judgment, Wake of Ashes. After that you do Final Verdict because you get the proc from Empyrean Legacy. Then a Divine Storm. Then after that you throw your Divine Toll, Final Reckoning, and just keep building and spending after that. You're gonna rely a lot of procs, which is fine because this build is very RNG. So good luck. Good luck on procs. That's what I can say. That's basically the gist of Herald of the Sun. Now, there is a little mini game in between your rotation, especially because you have your Wake of Ashes to extend procs that you get from your basic stuff. You get the little 5-second proc, for example, of the Radiant Glory. If that happens close to your Wake of Ashes, you can extend that on, let's say, 4 to 7 stacks of your Crusade, and it's gonna give you a lot more damage overall. I haven't seen a rogue that does more damage than a red at the moment. Maybe all the rogues I played were like kind of bad, but I haven't seen a rogue do anything good. It's just been DKs and mages that have been pumping. And there's no keys. There's a city of threads. Get me in. Come on. I want to do a key. Damn it. Yeah, Arcane Mage is pretty busted. You know Blizzard, they love the mages, so mage is always gonna be good. Although Arcane has always gotten a lot of hype at the start of the expansions, and then eventually it's always fire and frost. I think Arcane has like a bit too much of a setup to be good. I don't know why. It's always fire and frost, even though Arcane like looks like it's OP. Currently it does a ton of damage, but it is the beta, you know, it's not live setup. A lot of things change when stuff goes live. Weak auras, yeah, I made one new weak aura just to track my Imperial Legacy stuff. Every 20 seconds it shows like a little icon on my left of my character, just so I know when I have to press that thing. You can even gain a bit more on Imperial Legacy if, for example, you use 2 spenders before. So at the start of your rotation, you use 2 spenders, you get 10 stack of Crusade, and then you use Final Reckoning, Imperial Legacy. So you juice up your next Final Verdict plus Divine Storm 25% on top of the Final Reckoning. So you can do some nice stuff with that. Or you can just use like a lot of people are also using just Execution Sentence. I don't like the nerf they did to Final Reckoning. I think they should have just kept it 30% for both things, because what's the point in having 2 things that do almost the same thing, you know? No, Execution Sentence buffs your damage against one target, and now you're making Final Reckoning do less damage to AoE and just buff most of your damage to single target, which is kind of dumb, you know? Just make it one talent that does both, you know, like Sanctified Wrath just did explosions and worked on both AoE and single target. I don't know why they just don't meld these two things into one. It's funny to think about that because Final Reckoning started as 50% extra damage on your Holy Power spenders. Now it's 30% on single target and 15% on AoE, which is it's pretty dumb. I think they just should meld it and make Sanctify Rat come back, you know, or if you played BFA like Light's Decree. Let's make us do explosions again. There's a stone bolt here. You can join that. I haven't done the stone bolts, by the way. Oh, actually, I did stone bolts. I haven't done the what you call it, the other with the Dawnbreaker. Everything else I have done. There's a necrotic wake here. Maybe we can join. Some Mist of Tirnaseed. That's a Frost Dead Knight though, and it's gonna blast us. You just have to wait, you know. I'm not a tank, so whenever I try to make a group in the beta, I never get a full group together. There's a necrotic wake here. Let's just join that. Luckily, I did do some keys earlier today, so I'm gonna make a video about that after the stream, so you guys can see that if we can't get into a single key here. Quake 12. It has an augmentation though. Let's just join. Nope, declined. Okay, we queued to everything we could. We just hope we can get in. Maybe I should say something, you know. Okay, this one is full. I should send a note or something so people can take me. What if I join this one? Doesn't have a tank, but... Okay, they took me. Now we wait for tank and healer. But at least we're in a group, you know. Let's say hi. I do want to get into PvP next expansion, mostly because of the you know, solo queue on Battleground stuff, which I think is a really good move for PvP. Just makes you able to get like conquests and stuff without having to find a group or anything, which is fine. I like that. I have always gotten at least a like duelist every single season. I think the only time I haven't gotten it is like last season because it was like the awakened one, which didn't give you any extra transmog rewards, so I didn't even bother. But most of the time I try to get all the elite stuff. The highest I've gotten in PvP I think was 2300 in BFA. That was mostly because there was an Azurite helm that was only available in PvP seasons, where it gave you your best Azurite traits. So yeah, that's I think the only time I got in a high rating on PvP. I could have gotten into Glad maybe that season, but I was just happy to get the helm and just dip. It's also pretty good to do PvP at the start of seasons and mini expansions because, like, for example, the PvP trinket, the badge is always good for us. And now that we have like 30-second wings, it's even better. Like early trinkets, I think if you can get the little badge thingy and maybe one of the dungeon trinkets that is good. Where is it? The egg? Where is the egg? No, the egg is Wraith. The Packstone is good, you know. I think Packstone plus PvP trinket would be good. Oh, Skarmory Shard. Yeah, I missed it. Skarmory Shard is from the Stone Bolts. You can get that. Plus the... Oh, actually, no, you can't. When both are on use. Unfortunate. You can still get the other one, you know, the haste and strength gains. That's also pretty decent. You know, so you can go Skarmory Shard plus one of the PvP. It's the emblem, I think. It's not the badge. Obviously, Jeff. It's 30-second wings, man. It's fun. It gives you more uptime on the wings. Like normal 1 minute wings uptime is like 35% of the dungeon. 30-second wings give you around 55% uptime on the wings. Obviously the value on those wings varies a bit depending on how many stacks you get from your crusade. But it's higher uptime. You do have to RNG a bit of times, you know. But if you do, it's really good. There's a I would just take the healer. I don't care. We're 3 DPS. I don't think we can like pick. Yeah, for example, I did this Necrotic Wake earlier. This is what 30-second wings. What was my uptime on Crusade? 47%. Yeah, that was low roll. Normally, though, 1 minute wings will give you 35, so it's a bit better than that. It's 12% more uptime on your main damage cooldown. This is mostly because of haste. I don't have enough haste here to go up to like 55, I think. In live servers with the haste that I have, like it's 35%, I get to like 55% haste, 57 sometimes percent. I mean, crusade time, uptime. Because I can press more spenders or whole power spenders and stuff. It's just gonna improve with more stats. Yeah, Cold War. It's kind of sad that they did. I blame Shamis. Although they've been a class that's been shafted so long, so I guess it's their time on the sun, you know. Someone had to lose their buff, and they just picked us because we have a defensive one and we have an offensive one. We still have divine, not divine. It's called Devotion Aura, which is okay. I think it's good because we lost so much versatility that Devotion Aura is gonna kind of take the slack from that. It's 6% extra versatility, you know, Devotion Aura in the damage reduction. It doesn't give you damage, but it gives you the damage reduction part, so it's still valuable. Although you know how people are, you know, if it's not damage, don't give it to me. Yeah, Jeff, they changed a lot of the gameplay from Retribution Paladin. Like old Red Pally was like a 2-minute cooldown class. Then in Dragonflight they made us 1 minute, and now we're a 30-second class, which is crazy. I like the 30-second setup because you have to think about it a bit, you know. Sometimes you have to think, okay, do I just throw the 30-second wings and 1 minute cooldowns, or just the 30-second wings? So you have to think about your cooldowns. With the 1 minute setup, you just always threw them, you know, together, no matter what. But now there's that little game. There's also the mini game on extending your wings that gives you some like extra, what you call it, a skill ceiling, you know, on Red's gameplay. Jaber, of course. Templar is really powerful. Just have to change the setup. You use, and instead of this build that I'm using, you just swap for Avenging Wrath Might for Templar of the Sun. I mean Templar, not Templar of the Sun. For Templar, you need critical strike, so your Imperial Hammers crit, and they can splash AoE. For the most part, they can play the same though. Yeah, it's pretty fun to play the 30 seconds red. It gives you a lot of flexibility in your burst rotation. It's a bit RNG, you know, sometimes you get the nuts, you get 2 extensions plus 10 seconds. It's basically 20-second crusade every 30 seconds. Just really good. Sometimes you just get the 10 seconds though. I think I would do a Herald of the Sun for things over 12. You know, 12 plus Mythic plus dungeons. Herald of the Sun is gonna do well because the dots, your downlights and stuff are gonna last enough on targets to do their damage. Well, under that, I would do Templar. But now, for example, now I'm just gonna play Herald on 10s. Because people are not like doing so much damage, that stuff disappears fast. But I think in live, people are gonna be min-maxing a bit more. So I think that's gonna be the play. It's kind of hard to say what's gonna work in pugs, because pugs are so volatile, you know, on what they do. Sometimes you get like really good players, sometimes you get bad players. Yeah, I think 30-second wings are better than 1 minute wings. It's just more flexible. You always have damage, literally always have damage. And also after the changes on expurgation, I really like the Crusade. Crusade makes your expurgation damage a lot better because it ticks faster, and expurgation gets benefits from both crit and haste. So it's just really good. Once we get hero talents, you know, after pre-patch and when extraction starts, your other dots are also gonna tick faster and gonna do more damage hits like Dawn Light and the hits from Second Sunrise. That's not Second Sunrise, it's Sunseer. With Templar, you also have always like the 20% extra crit on your Hammer of Light, which makes it really strong. Yeah, that's a good thing about Red. Red can carry like a bad group. On lower keys, you can just put your group on your back, man. As long as the tank can hold aggro and doesn't die, you can carry the group on lower keys. Eventually you need everyone to do their job, but you're pretty safe on Red as for farming keys and stuff. Sadly, they removed a bit of that in terms of a utility, Our mana goes away if you throw around 10 heals. If you throw 10 Words of Glory, your mana is gone, which is kind of annoying. I kind of like to heal people sometimes, you know, but now that's gone. I don't know why they made the mana thing again for healing classes. I mean, for hybrids. It's not like a healing is incredibly good, you know, to survive stuff. Although, actually, with the changes they made, you know, to Mythic Plus, it's a lot less burstier, so it kind of is justified. Yeah, it's fixed. We no longer have infinite wings. Nice, we got a tank, finally. Okay, where is everyone? The Grim Harvest. Okay, everyone's in necrotic wave. Let me go.
Yeah, what do you want? Be careful out there.
Finally, how long we've been here? Let me check. It's been an hour. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Hopefully the key doesn't die like in 10 minutes because someone died. Oh, 30-second wings fixed in live. There wasn't any problem in live. Oh, there's one problem with the interaction with Crusading Divine Purpose in live, but that's pretty much it. Everything else works fine.
Yet another of the Kyrian's loyal servants. Have you come here to be slaughtered?
Oh, by the way, if you're using a flask in... let's move away from that guy. He's just aggro. Okay, if you're using a flask in beta, don't use the flask before you put the key, and always check your stats so that they update to your scaling, and then use the flask. He says I take the shield. I'll be fine with it. I don't need the shield, I think. Okay, let's do this. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna wait my stats to update here, and I'm gonna use my Mastery Flask. It's gonna 8% extra damage on everything. Okay, let's look for the biggest target to hit with our expurgation stuff. That the guy's gonna go wild. This guy's cooking heavily. I don't know, like he's all my defensive here. Blind. Nice. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this guy to pull half of the plays, you know. I have nothing. Kick that necrotic bolt. Yeah, the dude pulled everything here. I have my lane hands here. Pick up the bolt. Use my lane hands here. Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. We're totally fine. Let's eat the balls. We didn't lost? God damn. I don't want to use anything now. Probably gonna pull boss after this. Oh, the talents, by the way, are in the description of the video if you missed them. I think he's gonna pull boss with trash. Maybe not. Take that fluids. Remember to spam your Blade of Justice like it owes you money. I do remember we did that pull, but I think we did it with a spear. We got extension there. I'm away from that guy. Get the balls. Get a little wormy thingies. We gotta wait for our wake up ashes here to use our cooldowns here. We find now. Let's use it. Away from that guy. Come on, give me an extension. Extension, come on. So we got good extension. Yeah, you gotta pray a bit to the RNG gods, but if you pray, you get the the extension on your crusade. 10 stack crusade is like incredibly powerful. 30% extra haste and 30% extra damage. He's fine there. He's defensive here because I have a little worm on me. Gonna let my expurgation Blade of Justice do the work. It would be nice to get like a crusade proc before I throw my ice. That's what I want. I have extra time for my other cooldowns. I have full time on my final reckoning of crusade and stacks. One more stack? One more? No, no extension, sadly. Good stuff. Wasn't that? I'm stuck. Now let's get the balls. Sadly in raids, I think we're gonna be middle of the pack, at least for the start of the expansion. We need stats, like a lot of them, to be really good. This also made us like really good for AoE and kind of nerfed our single target, which is okay, especially in Mythic Plus dungeons where you need both types of damage. Have my Blessing of Banshee there. Throw my Hammer of Wrath. Well, the only time you're gonna see me throwing a Hammer of Wrath in AoE is when I have a Blessing of Banshee. If I don't have it, I'm never gonna press that thing. That's the main reason I like to use Divine Purpose.
A stone to call forth the darkness.
Think we can skip this? Those balls are very dangerous. We got pulled. I'm dead as well. Just kill me, please. Kill me! Okay. Yeah, Strength, Mastery, Haste, Crit Burst. Literally get anything else than versatility. Versatility is like a trash stat for us. Like 200 versatility gives you 1% damage on life. 170 haste, 170 critical strike, and 133% mastery gives you 1%. So literally any other stat is better than versatility. I have aggro. Fine. Good finish, but Bolt. Defensive here. Should have extended that. I'm being kind of like good player there because I was like single targeting that guy. Could have AoE'd. That guy you just have to single target. Yeah, mastery at the moment I think is sometimes even stronger than strength. I'm gonna pop myself here because
Stone to call forth the darkness.
oh, tank is dead. Can I res it? Ah, let's die, let's die. Tank DC'd. Oh no. Maybe he comes back. I think the tank messed up and just gave up. Sag. Let's wait. I'm gonna give him 20 seconds. Yeah, it is crazy, Jeff. It's 50% normally you get. Like in live servers, you can get up to 56% on Crusade with the new
An
talents.
excellent choice.
It's pretty insane. The thing is, it's not full value sometimes. You know, sometimes you get 4 stacks, sometimes you get 7 stacks in extension, and maybe you get 10 stacks on just a proc, or maybe you can extend like a Wake of Ashes proc on top of a normal proc. So there's a lot of like min-maxing that you can do there. It's a very reactive build. I love to use Crusade because of that. Crusade Radiant Glory, that is. I think he's gone. And I think the tank just said F it and just left. Oh well. Let's go. Oh, they want to replace it. Okay, I'm fine. I'll stay with this group, you know. It's better than just trying to find another one. We can chill and talk about how was overall up to that part. We're doing 2 million damage there. That's fine. I think it's okay. Yeah, it's basically the same overall I had in the last dungeon. Like, I think I still have it here. So this is my new. This is the new Necrotic Wake up to that part, and this is the old one at the end. So you can see basically the same overall. My damage was gonna keep the same up to the end of that. So I think I have a pretty good idea of how much damage the Herald build can do. Around 1.5 to 1.6 million overalls, which is pretty good, I think. We're not Frost Death Knights, but we're up there. Oh, Myrtle Ralph, thanks for the sub, man. Really appreciate it. Okay, we just have to wait for a tank now again. By the way, I recommend you guys doing Necrotic Wake just to test stuff most of the times, because it has a good blend of like AoE packs plus like 5 target packs, especially on the Necropolis, because you have to force play 5 target packs, and there's like 3 types of bosses, you know. The first boss is like 1 target plus like 3 little worms every certain time. The second boss is yeah, it's 4 target cleave. The third boss is 2 target cleave, and the last boss is 1 target cleave. So it gives you a nice vision of what Red can do. Ah, thanks, EK. I think what damage was okay. Did we get any PIs though? That's what I want to see. Nice, we didn't get a PI. That's good, because that means that that's our damage. Yeah, the Shami got PIs. So I'm happy about that. You don't want to get PIs as a red, because that just interferes with your own damage. This reminds me of the Hearthstone like pure paladins, you know. They call racist paladin. I like pure pallies, you know. I like my damage to be just yellow stuff. I don't like my damage being like like for example in Dragonflight our damage was like a lot of it the legendary weapon and then some of our trinkets, you know, the anvil or the what you call it, the thing from Smolderon. There was a lot of pollution in our damage, so now we're gonna go back to being just pure pallies, which I really like. Racist paladin. Oh man, I remember those times in Hearthstone. Pure paladins. Expurgation dot wasn't like this before that they did the change, by the way. Expurgation normally was around 4% of your damage. They basically doubled the damage of this thing. Just because they made it now stack instead of just refresh. I don't think they were counting on that. That's the main reason they also nerfed our single target, because expurgation not only works on single target, it works on AoE as well. And it's a huge part of it, of our damage. Just spamming Blade of Justice on the same thing is gonna do a ton of the extra ticks of expurgation. So I think this is one of the main reasons why they nerfed our single target. Oh, Sebastian, we're playing currently here with the nerfs, and this is how red looks like. So this is the overall of this key, and we went up to after the first boss, but I have an overall of a full key that I did a bit earlier. I'm gonna upload this later so you guys can see the full run with commentary and all those things, but this was the run with the nerfs that I did like this afternoon. Like you know, they buffed Divine Storm by 25%, so it does a ton of damage now. They also buffed Blade of Justice AoE by 25%. I don't know why, but yeah, it does a ton of damage now. You know, 8.4% just the AoE part and 5% the single target. They did nerf what you call it, where's Templar's Final Verdict. They nerfed this by 10%, but it did only 5.4% of my damage in that key. So 10% of that is 0.5%. So they literally just took 0.5% of my overall there. But they nerfed 25% of my Divine Storm, which is... how much is 25% of 20? Like 4%? Something like that? So in overall technical damages, they actually buffed us. They did nerf our single target priority damage, but they buffed our overall damage in Mythic Plus dungeons. That's what I say. Retribution Paladins should focus on mostly on AoE damage. There's better classes that can focus on priority damage. And since in the new Mythic Plus setting, we have both Tyrannical and Fortified, you want to have a group that has a good mix of both things, you know? And I think Red can fit well into the AoE part of the damage dealers. You know, focus on the strengths. And we're really good at AoE. What's the other change? They buffed Sun's Avatar by 20%, so that was effectively like a 0.5% damage buff. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, they nerfed Hammer of Wrath by 15%, which is 2.2% of my damage. Basically, that nerf was nothing. They nerfed us by 0.3% or something like that. But it didn't really matter too much. Oh, I use Final Reckoning, yeah. I could use like you can interchangeably do that, you know. Final Reckoning and Execution Sentence are kind of in the same place, depending on number of targets. Since this was a Necrotic Wake, you saw the first pull in this dungeon. The dude just pulled everything, so I think Final Reckoning just gave me more value there. It was pretty the same on this key. He pulled like 10 targets, I think. So yeah, Final Reckoning had a bit more value there. You can use Execution Sentence as well. Gives you more prio damage, but as I said before, I think Red should focus on AoE. That's our forte, you know. Blizzard buffed our AoE for that reason. They want us to be a monster in AoE damage. Oh yeah, the other buff was to less champion. So Judgment got like a 1.5% extra damage, and Crusading Strike got the same, around 1.5% extra damage overall. Because now it only reduces it by 25%. Before it reduced it by 50%. They gave us a huge amount of buffs for AoE and cleave. And the things they took were very minimal. 10% of 5.4, 0.5%, and 15% of 2.2%, which is like 3. So we lost 0.8% damage, and we gained like 7 full percent or something like that. It sounds like a nerf, but it was a full buff in Mythic Plus. Now in single target, in raid situations, yes, they did nerf us a bit. But for Mythic Plus, we're great. I personally mostly just do Mythic Plus. I don't do too much raid. I do raid, you know, I do Mythic up to like half of the raid normally. But I focus more on Mythic Plus, so for me, that's a win. Just waiting for the tank here. It's not my group. These guys are talking. Probably they're friends or something, so hopefully they find the tank fast. I'd rather hang with them, you know, because it's hard to find a group anyways. I also enjoy talking with you guys, so it's fun as well. Oh, by the way, if you guys are curious, this is what I was using the last run. It is a very reactive build though. Whenever you have your crusade, you have to spend as fast as possible to get max value. If you don't wanna mess with that, you can always go with Avenging Wrath Might, but your dots are gonna do a lot less damage with it. It's less of a gamble, but less of a like payoff. If you hit the extra extensions on 10 stack crusade. Yeah, I would describe like crusade with high risk, high reward, and like might with low risk, just decent reward. I'll get it. They didn't get the tank. Come on. There was a tank there. They should have gotten it. Yeah, I'm literally like 600 IO score and I'm doing tons of damage. They should have just taken that tank. IO doesn't matter here. It's the beta. I'm pretty sure also my score is bugged as hell and doesn't actually work. I did like testing early on, so those scores might not count for anything. Also, that key was going so fine. The dude just died once. You know, actually he died twice, but yeah, okay, first time I think was the mistake of the healer, the second one was his mistake. He just jumped in and died. Maybe I should start using the The Arakara egg. Where is the egg? It's not this one. I'll just buy it again.
The winds guide you.
This one.
May the eternal sun shine upon
The thing is, I have to make sure my mastery is my highest stat. Okay, it is. Nice. So it gives me mastery. I don't really want it to give me haste. I wish they should have actually put like one stat stick that doesn't require any type of gameplay in this patch, you know. Just one, you know, just one stat stick. Gives you any stat you want. Similar to the chromatic essence. All the raid trinkets are so gimmicky. I don't know why they make them like that. Also, a lot of those are like very trash for us. Because they do like damage and we don't like that. We just want stats now. There's only, I think, one of the trinkets that just does damage and is good for us, and it's the one that does a ton of it. I think it's from the last boss. Let me check. Where is Queen Anzarek? Yeah, this thing. This is the only trinket that I would recommend getting that just does damage. Because it does a ton of it, and you can actually reset the cooldown a bit if you kill the thing that you're using it on. Other than that, you just want like pure stat stick stuff. Come on, attack. Just one tag. There was a tag, but the guy didn't take it, which is kind of annoying. Meanwhile, we're waiting. Let's talk about some trinkets here. I do have to update some of my stuff that I did in my first trinket view because they changed some of them. Okay, let's look at this first one. Arakara City of Echoes, the sack brute. This is a pretty decent one. Gives you haste, which we like, and it gives you main stat on a proc, which is okay. It's half main stat proc, half like damage, so it's not bad. But it's not the best. I think it's a decent one if you can get it in a dungeon run. After that, we have Oppressive Orator's Larynx. This is okay. It doesn't have any stats. You're required to proc this thing to get the main stat, and then has a on-use effect that does a ton of damage, depending on how many stacks of the main stat strength you have. I think it's very gimmicky. It might have a use, but I don't like it too much. Mostly because it's a do damage trinket. We don't amplify it by anything with the exception of critical strike. So yeah, kind of a like C tier trinket probably. Dawnbreaker, the Void Packstone. This is pretty good. I like this trinket. It gives you a bunch of haste on a proc and it does damage. The good thing is it gives you like main stat on the trinket itself, so just good value on itself. I'm gonna give it like B or something like that. Stoneball, Starkmore Shard. This is S+. This is gonna be one of your best trinkets if you can get it from the vault. It's gonna be incredible. The on-use effect is on a 1.5 minute cooldown. If you're using 30-second wings, it's gonna be really powerful. You can always use it with a wings. That's the main reason. And the secondary effect is really good because in Mythic Plus situations, you're always killing stuff, so you're always gonna have that extra mastery buff. The other trinket, the Overlocked Gear of Rank Launcher, is pretty garbage for us. Doesn't give you any type of stat. Just do damage every 2 minutes, and you have a chance to do some extra damage passively. I'm gonna give this like a D tier. It's not a good trinket, at least not for Retribution Paladins. Next up we have Mist of Neresid, no trinkets. Necrotic Wake, this is garbage. It's one of the worst trinkets that you can get. It's just decent if you get it for the strength. Just for item level you can use it, but the on-use is trash. It was trash in Shadowlands, it's trash now. Siege of Borealis, no trinkets. And Grim Battle, Mark of Kairos. If you don't have the one from this Carmona shard, this is the next best thing. It's basically the same thing. It gives you a bit more mastery on use, every 1.5 minute cooldown, but it doesn't have the passive effect of the Skarmory shard. So I'm gonna give it like S instead of S plus, like the Skarmory shard. It's a pretty good trinket though, if you don't have the other one. Yeah, that would be for Mythic Plus. Do we have a tank yet? No, we don't. Let's talk about raid trinkets now. Where is it? They were within raids, Neverwhere Palace. No trinket here, no trinket here, no trinket here. Luraran Troy. I didn't see that. Luraran Troy. Okay, this one is pretty interesting. It has different effects. I did test some of these effects, and they were decent on a 1 minute cooldown, but it doesn't give you any stats, and that's my main draw of it. If it doesn't give you any stats, we don't buff it because we don't stack versatility anymore. The only extra damage that it's gonna get is from critical strikes. It can be a B trinket because it has main stat, you know, it's decent. You can just press the button every 1 minute to get some extra damage. Not great, but just decent. Corrosive Organ, another trinket that's very gimmicky. You press the button and you do damage. Your abilities do extra. Another trinket that just does flat damage. We don't have versatility to increase the damage of this thing, so it's basically just the value of the strength, just decent enough if you don't have anything to use, like B, C tier, something like that. The Egg, this one is good. Actually, this is an A tier trinket. It gives you nice primary stack. Primary stats when you're standing still, and it gives you a bunch of secondary stats when you're moving. So you're gonna get some value from it no matter what you're doing in Mythic Plus dungeons. There is a place where this is really good, whenever you get like 20 stacks of one thing and then you just get the other ones, you can suspend that and keep those stats, you know, because after 20 stacks on whatever strength or secondary stats, it's gonna give you 60% reduced benefit, so you can stop it every 2 minutes and get the max benefit from it. Anyways, it's gonna be a good trinket, A tier trinket, gives you a ton of stats. The Transmitter, gimmicky, but if you can make use of the effect, it's really good. So this was at the start of the beta. It was a passive, so you actually didn't have to press a button. Sometimes you received an order, and that order normally is stand in that little pink circle that appears on the ground, and you get a ton of primary stat. Now it has an on-use cooldown, which makes it a bit less useful. I liked this trinket more when it was just a proc. Now it's okay. It gives you a ludicrous amount of primary stat though, 15,000 primary stat, which is really strong. Every 1.5 minute cooldowns. If you can play the little mini game, I'm thinking this is gonna be an A tier trinket. It gives you also a nice stat that we like, which is haste, so not bad. A bit gimmicky, that's the only thing. Matt's Queen Mandate. This trinket is good just because it does a ton of damage. It does 2.6 million damage on a target and also heals you, which is kind of irrelevant sometimes. But the good thing is if you kill your target, it reduces the cooldown of this thing by 60 seconds, so effectively making it a 1 minute cooldown on mythical situation. The fact that it does so much damage just makes it useful like an A tier trinket, because Blizzard likes to make the trinkets from last bosses really strong. I think this is gonna be used by red paladins, even though it can't increase its damage by too much. You know, like I said, A tier trinket. It's gonna be decent if you don't have anything else. But we still like stats. Now we lost the healer. I think it's time to leave this group and find someone else. Rip. Let's find a group with a tank. Damn. No one has a tank. And that's the only thing I don't like about the... There's a tank. There's one here. That's the only thing I don't like about the beta. There's like no tank sometimes, and it's hard to play the game. Oh, there's a group here. Let's join this mists. Okay, let's go Dawnbreaker. I haven't done that dungeon. We can try it. Green Bateau, we've done this dungeon. The second boss is kind of a harsh boss, but I think they nerfed it a bit since the last time I've done it. Should be chill. It's Arakara. It's a pretty chill dungeon. Let's try it. Tyler, it feels really good. Like, not gonna lie, Red feels really fluid in its rotation. Damage is not bad. The only classes that have done more damage than me are like Frost DKs, which are kind of busted at the moment because a lot of their damage comes from just auto-attacking, literally. Just auto-attacking does damage for them. And Arcane Mages, which are really damn bursty. They just throw like one blast and do like 3 million damage to 6 targets, so they're crazy, something like that. But Retribution Paladins are really fun. They do have to fix some really hard bugs for us, which is what I made a video talking about Divine Purpose. It doesn't work really well with Crusade because it doesn't give you stacks, which should give you stacks because it has a really good interaction with Aurora. If Divine Purpose worked with Crusade, we could get like 10 stacks in the first 2 seconds of our Crusade, which would make the talent like 10 times better. Hopefully they can fix that bug before the launch of the War Within, because I'm thinking Crusade Radiant Decree is gonna be incredibly good for Red Paladins with Herald of the Sun. If not, we're gonna be using Templar probably for the start because of that bug. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. It's a really fun spec. Yeah, make Divine Purpose great again. It was good. It was good. Actually, no. Divine Purpose has always had bugs. This is Arakara, right? I think it's Arakara. Let's go there. There. So yeah, Divine Purpose has always had bugs at the start of the expansion. In Legion, for example, it didn't proc out of itself. So if you got a Divine Purpose proc, you couldn't get a Divine Purpose proc out of Divine Purpose. So they fixed that at the end of the expansion, the last patch of it. Then in BFA, it also had some bugs, so people started using other talents. I remember there was I think Inquisition that was in the same row of Divine Purpose or something like that. People also started using that because Divine Purpose was bugged in some way. I don't remember how, but it was bugged. So yeah, Divine Purpose has a history of being always bugged for whatever reason at the start of expansions. Hopefully this time they fix it fast and we can actually use it. Okay, so this dungeon I haven't done too much. Let's see if I remember. I did it at the start of testing. We made it to the last boss. We didn't finish that dungeon, I remember. Let's put here on current, and let's remove our mastery buff. Yeah, man, hopefully they fix it. Okay, let's see our stats. Okay, they're updated. Let's get some mastery. And let's go. I'm using Herald. Okay. He's gonna pull everything to the web, I think. Oh, I'm slow. I'm slowed again. There's a spider here that explodes that way. That's a one-shot, by the way, so I don't want to get near that spider. Hit the big one. You always want to hit like a big target so you can like stack your expurgations on it, and it does the dot and everything else. Similar, it works similarly like the mage's ignite, you know? You stack the expurgations debuffs on one thing, and it's gonna be doing its damage to everything close to it. I'll blind this. Almost missed the kick. It comes with you. There's a lot of webs everywhere here. Okay. Dodge that. Big spider's dead. Let's move on. So yeah, expurgation kinda works like that. To be honest, I should have waited for my cooldowns to be back.
Do you see it?
Now I have to use them with a proc, hopefully. No, in 7 seconds I'll use them. Oh, never mind. Well, we can use them now. Let me get the tank. Can I get this? I was greedy, but it worked. That spider wants me really bad. Okay, we're fine. I have to get my cooldowns back together, so I have to wait. I'll just throw Wake of Ashes here. I don't think I need like Divine Soul. Dot on me, just remove it.
You see it? A stone to call forth the dawn.
Big spider gonna explode. Get away from it. Get the orbs. Okay, now we can use all our cooldowns together again. Nice. I gotta be honest, I don't remember what this boss is, like the first boss of this place. That. Spiders are coming. Gotta dodge, gonna remove it. I have here a legacy here. A lot of web there. Dodge that. Can extend here. Nice, we extend out to save. Good. Cooldowns with extension. Oh, away from that spider. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. We can't be actually melee. Remove the dot from the tank. Okay, we're fine. Those webs are annoying. Like in hierarchies, I'm not even gonna be able to stand on them. Oh, that's a big spider. Did that guy just walked? I guess we got a resin. I saw that man like just jump to his death. No, he's coming, he's coming. I think he pulled aggro. Yeah, he pulled one little flyer. No, never mind. He's elf. Okay, if I remember correctly, we have to kill the ads on this part. And I wish they fixed Divine Purpose. I would have like 10 stacks in 1 second. With so many Divine Purpose procs. You gotta kill the spiders. So much work. I can extend here. Oh, that's scary. This is not a very melee friendly fight, man. I have wings, I have to slow these. We have to kill these. Offensive here. Oh, where's that guy? Never mind, I'm dead. How much did that little swirly hit me for? 4 million. 7%. Maybe they can kill it? Yeah, I think I was the only one hitting the little ads there at the end. Those had to die. Come on, 5%, you can do it! Kill it! I did test Templar strikes. The problem is they still feel very clunky because of the 1 second internal cooldown of them. They do a lot of damage, you know, but they feel very unresponsive. That's what I would say. They can kill it. Come on, go DPS. I mean, tank and healer. Maybe Templar Strikes can play the first patch of the expansion because haste levels are gonna be a bit lowish, but eventually once your haste goes to a certain level, you're gonna feel like, why am I pressing this thing? You know, I can press like 3 Blades of Justice in place of this thing. If they remove that like internal cooldown on them, I think it can see play. But if they don't, it's kind of iffy. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. It's gonna be big pull. Get aggro up all the spiders. Oh, I didn't have any extensions there. Would have been nice to get like at least one extensions. Kinda late these wings. Bash is here. Ansher prop. With extensions there. 10 stacks. And extend it a bit further. Spamming it. Oh, we didn't get it. I think we saved cooldowns. This guy is about to die. Yeah, I'm not gonna use anything here. It's gonna kill the guy. Get the little orb thingies. So we buff our damage for next pull. Gonna go right or left. Actually, it doesn't matter. I don't know which side goes to where. Gonna pull big spider and all big spider. It's gonna come. Extend. Oh, I didn't extend. It's a bit of a gamble, you know, to play Crusade because sometimes it extends the wings, sometimes you don't. Use it now. Oh, nice, we got 2 extensions there.
Do you see it? A stone to call forth.
Got the affix. 5 seconds and we have wings. Maybe we get wings before this. We didn't get it. Bubble me here because I think I got aggro. I died here. That's a lot of spiders. That's a lot of spiders. I think the arcane mage says my bad. I think he pulled with something like some unintentional cleave or something. Like, that's what I say, you know, like, Arcane Mage needs, like, setup to do stuff. So while, yeah, good Arcane Mages may be doing, like, top damage, I think most of the population of mages are gonna go for Fire Mage or, like, Frost, because it's a lot easier to play. Stop all those casts, so I have to just leave them. I'll take the big ball. Oh, he's already there.
Stone.
Nice. Come on, give me a proc. Give me a proc. Proc? No proc. They just don't work. Extension, yeah. Alright, we got one extension, two extension. Never in hands there, so I can live. Right, and I have line. Keep spamming Blade of Justice like crazy. That does a ton of damages because it applies out to everything. This variation is pretty OP. Nice. Yeah, I'm only worried about bosses now. I do a ton of damage against trash, but stun this guy? Okay. I guess use cooldown here. Oh, big spider. Big spiders. There's a Nubarak looking guys that are like behind us. Oof. I was like on the side of it and it just nuked me down. I'm just gonna release. Let's get there. Maybe they survive. Oh, reset. I like this place. Reminds me of the Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. The old kingdom. Let's kill the big spiders. Probably gonna grab like more things maybe. Can we all do that? I think we can. Just dodge big spiders then. If we can skip them, how did we pull them? Oh, I don't use this. Messed up my rotation a bit. Our single target is a bit weaker, but we make up for it with the, like, exceptional AoE. You have to remember that like AoE and single target are gonna be both really important in Mythic Plus dungeons. Because dungeons are no longer going to be like just fortified or tyrannical. The hell hit me? I'll get the healer up. I'm in bottle one time. I think dungeons and like the war within are gonna be like two guys that are gonna do like full AoE and one guy that's gonna be focusing on mostly priority damage. I'll kill this little spider thing. I'll stun it. I'll stun it.
A stone to call forth the darkness.
Dodge it. Another little spider. Can I extend this? I can. Extend it. Dodge all the swordies. It's a lot of swordies to dodge. It's almost dead though. It's almost dead. Just my hands there. Okay, it's dead. Nice. Good. Nah, we're not doomed, man. We're doing perfectly fine. Like, if we go on our full single target build, we're fine in raids. It's mostly like in Mythic Plus, you have to like pick half and half. Although we don't lose too much, like single target or AoE. We lose around like 8% for each other, which is fine because in dragonflight we lost like 20% of our single target if we wanted to do AoE. So it's a lot better now. I'm dead. Tank died. He got destroyed there. I think there's too much like fixation on people talking about single target damage. AoE is a lot more important now in Mythic Plus dungeons than it was before because there is no longer like fortified and tyrannical. Both are important in the game. So you have to make a comp which has both AoE damage dealers and single target players. So you're either gonna take 2 single target players and 1 AoE focused guy, or 2 AoE guys and 1 single target. So we're always going to be needed because of the melee classes. We're one of the best AoE damage dealers, with the exception of Frost Death Knights, which currently are kind of broken. So they're probably gonna get nerfed. Like Mythic Plus has changed so much since Dragonflight, and people are not considering that. Red Paladins are just gonna be fine, man. We are going to start a bit weak though. Just don't let that take you by surprise. We need stats to... a lot of stats to start scaling.
Claim that glory, but no more. I'm surrender, and the black flag will usher in a new age for Ashkahet.
Oh, I hit those guys with my AoE. I think I have to jump when that guy does the thing. I have my Hero Legacy thing. Nope, doesn't work. Still have my Hero Legacy. Nice. Ooh, that hurts.
A stone.
Have to heal it. Oof. He got destroyed by that big bug. Yeah, I think Dragonflight Red was clean. The problem is it hindered our growth, you know. You didn't feel stronger with gear with Alt Red. you could get like a naked red and a full geared red, and the difference in damage was very, very minimal. Yes, you got a bit stronger with gear, but for the most part it didn't matter too much, which is not good, you know. You want to feel better gearing up, getting stronger, you know, and that's what this new version of red does. You need stats to get stronger, and you're gonna feel a lot stronger when you get them. It also makes like red scale with its own damage, you know, pure paladin damage, which I think is always a win. You want the damage coming from your class, not from like random sources. This way we have no reliance on things like legendary weapons or anything like that. When red stands on its own 2 feet, but there's pure abilities. Pure paladin abilities. And we're gonna just fight this guy alone. It's fine. But you're right, the thing I miss the most is my ranged kick. I think all kicks should be like kind of ranged, like old red kick was. Like all melee kicks. I don't mind too much the loss of like 3 yards on auto attacks and stuff, because I've always been used to playing like melee red. I played reds for so long that that old playstyle has always been with me. Very rarely I played from like super far away. Got all cooldowns. Oh, that's wordies. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this last boss was. Last time I did this place, we got to this part and everyone kind of left. So I'm gonna just play it by how I see stuff, you know. If I see swordies, I'm gonna dodge. If I see frontals, I'm gonna like step out of it.
A stone to call forth the darkness.
Yeah, let's get the orbs. We're gonna need them.
The harvest will prevail!
Gonna delay my cooldown just a second so I can have my other cooldowns to line up. Perfect. Use this. Oh, I can dispel that. Nice. Good to know. Ah, that looks dangerous. Oh, what the hell? Okay, so I have to get like super far away from that. I got sucked in. I'll res the guy. I'll spell one dude. 6 seconds and I can spell another one. I'll stand here so my little lines do some extra damage. Spell myself. Can spell someone else in 4 seconds. Never mind. Yeah, move super far away from that. Oh, oh. Okay, I don't know what the hell I do here. There. I should actually read the, the notes. Okay, what does this guy do? Sleeping Growth, Cosmic Sun pulls in all flares, inflicts high damage. So how do I dodge
The
that?
harvest continues.
Oh, go to purple stuff. Oh, so it works like the worm in what you call it? The worm in Neltharion Slayer. You gotta step on the goo so you can pull in. I got it. Won't die again. Being mid-range as a DPS is kinda Red's thing. Actually, it wasn't. Like, Red's... No, actually you're right. Red has always had like range abilities. Since Legion we have like long range judgment, Blade of Justice and all those things. It's kind of our thing. I guess they wanted to like homogenize all melees to have just like melee range auto attacks. They could have made an exception for the kick though. That's the only thing I care. I don't mind having to be in melee for my auto attacks. But my kick, that's important. Okay, take two. Let's kill it. Okay, those purple blue things. I'll spell myself. Things. Go to the purple stuff. Unroot it. Freedom and I'm fine. Arrest the tank. Pop that guy so he doesn't die. By myself. Tank is dead again. Good. Okay, I can't do anything now. He died. Okay, this time the tank just died. Oh, we didn't lose, so... Okay, as long as the tank lives, we're fine here. We now know how to dodge the big, like, swirly, like, suck, and just have to dispel one of the poison things. Probably are just gonna dispel on us. I don't have any time to dispel the other people, so yeah, I guess I can only dispel one guy. Damn, I have 60% mastery with my egg thingy. I haven't been min-maxing that trinket. Just by myself. To the purple crap. Oh no. Ooh. Tank live. Oh, I saved him. Okay. I saved the tank. For myself.
Do you see a stone?
Dodge so many things. God damn. Oh, we have to kill the little blood thingies so we get like the purple crap. It's for myself. I think I'm gonna use cooldowns after this singularity. I'll use this one. I think I'm safe. I can't dress that guy. Just have to do it without him. Kill the blobs. I can't dispel anyone else. It just gives you time for one dispel. I think we can do it. Just good DPS it. Spell myself. I can only do one. Sadly, I can only do one. Maybe I can do it? Yeah, maybe I can do it. Woo! Healer died. 5 minutes rest. Just me and the tank. I'll heal myself. I think tank can keep himself alive. I have to dispel myself. I have to eat the bomb. Oh man. Crap. I have to eat those balls or the boss that gets big.
The harvest continues.
Oh man, I think if everyone else lives, we got that. Oh yeah, man, eventually they have to do another squish. Like, numbers are getting pretty crazy. Like, how much is overall for this one up till now? Let's check. So, yeah, I'm doing 2 billion damage here. Like, numbers have no meaning anymore. Number too high, I don't know what it means. Probably after this expansion they're gonna do like a number squish or something like that again. It's about time. I remember the Legion numbers were also like on the billion or something like that.
The harvest will prevail.
Come on, homies, we can do it. Myself. Get this one. Oh, killer's dead. Can we do it without healer? Oh, we can. People are gonna leave after this, probably.
The harvest continues.
I can do this all day. It's hard to find a group, you know. Just wanna finish the dungeon. The overall is gonna be skewed though, because we're doing the boss so many times that single target is gonna be like inflated. Should I dispel someone else? I feel I have to dispel myself. We take a lot of damage now. We're not as tanky as we were before. Especially on like single target hits. Like that dot is like single target. We have no defense. Well, we have a bit of defense, you know. We have what you call it, the Blessing of Dusk damage reduction and just passive healing, but other than that, we're naked. Just have to live, homies.
The harvest will prevail!
Spell myself. Dodge everyone else's blob. Yeah, this one's mine. I'm looking at it. Hopefully they understand that this is mine. This is mine. Yeah, I think that's the play, you know. I have to just make sure they know that I'm gonna take this blobs. He's gonna take that one, so I'll take the close one. Yeah, I'll take this one. Let's go. Oh, okay, I might have taken it too squared. That's my bad. Oh, I'll take this one. Yeah, I messed up my bubble. We have a rest, we have a rest. I can get him, I can get him. I can save that guy as well. Dodge the poison. They're making me do triage here. I'll get this one. What killed me? Did I die to my own poison? Okay, I died to my own poison. I'm done. Maybe they can do it. Jump to one. Anyone? No, the tank.
Do you see?
Okay, it was my time to make a mistake. I died to my own poison. Unfortunate. Yeah, they can do it, they can do it. I trust. Nah, the healer died. Come on, mage, you can do it. Do mage stuff. Like alter time and shit. Oh no! Ah, that guy just ran into it. He can do it, he can do it. 5%, 5%. Come on, kill it. Come on, mage, you can do it. Okay, the tank can do it. 3%. As long as the Zalata thing doesn't happen, he has it. About 5 million damage. 3 million. 2 million. Stand in a blob. Stand in a blob. No. Stand in a blob. He could just stand in a blob. Why did he jump? Like he can just stand in one of the purple things. Ah. Okay, now we know. Just don't move when I dispel myself. I killed myself with my own green stuff. Yeah, the tank had that. He just had to stand on literally any purple puddle. Now we don't have a res. There's enough purple puddles for everyone, I think.
The harvest
Myself. Move. Get there. Okay, nice. Fine. Healer's dead. Rip.
Do you see it? A stone.
Okay, I think we're done here.
The harvest continues.
Okay, I'll give it one more go just because they're moving. One more go. Just go to the purple puddles. It's pretty simple. There was like 2 puddles on the side I was, so he could have just jumped there. Like, the dragons have good mobility. It's not like he couldn't. Just gotta watch. I'm kinda glad like because I'm just the only melee here, because I think this fight with more melee people could be like a lot obnoxious. Puddles. There's one behind me. Okay, I'll take that one. Take this one. Take this one then. Ah, the tank died. Okay, I think we're done. Maybe I can reset the boss.
Continues.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to call it. Tank said he was tired, so he must be, you know. I understand. He'll find another key to do. That was a rough one. That was a rough one. And damage was kind of skewed there. Had so much final Varric damage at the end because of the last boss. Yeah, I think the other damages were fine. Like Divine Storm is good, Blade of Justice is up there. Final Verdict is kind of an outlier here. It should be like 5% instead of this. I think we had it if I didn't die to my own poison. I didn't know it could hit you after you dispel it, if you moved fast enough. Oh well, what can you do? Let's go to another one. Mists of Ternasith. If we can get in, would be nice. Hard to get into keys, especially if you're not a tank or something like that in the beta. Oh, where's the music? Hey Branko, for sure. Yeah. So basically the only changes that we have from Dragonflight, from live Dragonflight to now, are that we no longer have to take Consecrated Blade because that's baseline. You learn it at level 11. So you have that 1 point that you can flex into different things. Another thing is that you can expend 2 points on Zealot's Fervor to give it 40% attack speed, which is really good for most of our builds. It makes it so you don't need as much haste to make your Blade of Justice reset, which is pretty decent. You only have to put 1 point into Blessed Champion. That gives you your cleave, and also they buffed it. Now it only deals 25 reduced damage to secondary targets. It was 50% before. Okay, now after that, yeah, from Dragonflight in the pre-patch, we're basically using the same things on the other talents. Like I said, we have 1 point that you can flex, which is this Empyrean Legacy that I'm using here. Oh yeah, forgot. In the pre-patch currently we have here, which is I don't remember what's it called, but the point that this Imperial Legacy currently here does no longer exist, you know, in pre-patch. We're not gonna use that, so this is what we're going to be playing with. Just during execution it still exists, and it's an option you can put instead of Imperial Legacy, you know. If you're playing dungeons with like around 5 targets, it's a good cleave. Imperial Legacy, I think it's a bit more general because it works in both single target and AoE. As for the Paladin side of the talent tree, almost nothing has changed with the exception of Crusader Aura is now no longer forced upon us. We can pick between Devotion Aura and Crusader Aura, which obviously everyone's going to take Devotion Aura. Another thing is they made a Greater Judgment also baseline, and it's now forced upon us, which it doesn't matter because you would always take this talent. On the bottom side of the talent tree, nothing has changed. We have that option between Divine Purpose and Vengeful Wrath. I normally just take Divine Purpose because it does more damage than Vengeful Wrath. You rarely press Hammer of Wrath in AoE situations because it's not good. You know, it's better in single target, but if you want to do more priority, you have that options. As for the bigger changes from Dragonflight, hero talents. You know, hero talents are basically what is the change from Dragonflight to the War Within. You got the Herald of the Sun, you got the Templar, you know, different small optimizations. Herald of the Sun, TLDR, is the version that does like dot damage and most AoE damage from the two of them. It's focused on big AoE. It buffs your Divine Storm a lot, gives it like chances to proc again, gives it more critical strike, and whenever it procs Divine Storm, you can get a dot on top of your targets that were hit. So yeah, this is basically the AoE-ish version of Red. And Templar would be like the cleave version of Retribution. It is a lot more bursty. It works better with critical strike and like normal Avenging Rat Might Wings. And it has a better defensive profile, you know, because of the 5% damage reduction on things that hit by your Empyrean Hammers. Also, it has Sacrosanct Crusade. Although Blizzard nerfed this thing to the ground, I think it's still a very good defensive option because it gives you a 20% maximum kill barrier every 30 seconds, which I think is pretty valuable. And yeah, that would be pretty much the overview on Retribution Paladins from Dragonflight to the War Within. Oh yeah, one more thing. Mastery is great. Mastery is our god now. You stack Mastery as much as you can because it's super good for us. Stats are like Strength, Mastery, Haste, Critical Strike, Versatility. Literally get anything but Versatility and you're gonna do damage. That would be it. I hope you like that overview. Yeah, Branko, stacking Mastery like the old days. Like literally in the pre-patch I have like 101 Master with a Shaman and like 97% without one. It's like in the BFA days. Let's try to find another key. Oh, this is Stonebolt. Stonebolt is fun. I don't want to play with Augmentation though. Okay, let's just go with Augmentation if they take us. I'm glad it was useful, John. No problem, Branko. I have to make one more video like just before the launch of the War Within, you know, to solidify all these changes. I'm just waiting for Blizz to change something from us. You know, they normally do that to Retribution Paladins, like 1 to 2 days before the patch hits. They do like random changes to Retribution. So hopefully that doesn't happen. We play with what we have now. I'm just waiting for any patch notes to make it like a, not like a guide, but like an overview of how what people can expect from Retribution Paladins in the War Within. Oh, there's a Necrotic Wake here. Let's try it. It's the only 2 keys up. Ah, it's full. Damn it. Okay, rip. There's no more keys. Let's put 10. I don't want to do 9s. And the 10s and 11s I like to do. Even 12s. What's in 12s? No 12s. Yeah, there's no keys at the moment. Satch. I think we're gonna start with Templar. Templar is just super bursty. It requires less gear because Herald uses Crusade a lot better, but to use Crusade you need a lot of haste, so you can stack it faster. Herald, Templar uses the other wings, the Might ones, which give you 20% critical strike and 20% extra damage. Those ones don't require as much of extra haste to be useful. Just press the button and you just burst as hard as you can. Also, things have lower health on lower levels, you know, of Mythic Plus. So you're just gonna delete packs and get your gear, and eventually once you get enough gear, you can move on to use Herald. Templar is also going to be good mostly for single target stuff, because it has some of the hero talents that allow you to make some stuff that normally does only AoE focus on single target. For example, let's go here. And for Home of the Balatals, for example, your Divine Toll now, instead of just doing AoE hammers and stuff, makes your next 3 judgments that can strike 100% extra damage when there's only 1 target hit. So it's like specialization on single target stuff. Also, you get a lot of benefits from pressing Hammer of Wrath with Templar because it extends the duration of your Wrathful Descent. So you have another thing to press in single target, making it a lot stronger there. But it's going to be a lot dependent on fight-to-fight basis, I think. There's gonna be a lot of thinking that you have to do when going into an encounter. Do I use Herald? Do I use Templar? Which one is best for the situation? Which I think I like. There's gonna be some dungeons, for example, that are better with Templar because it does do better with like around 5 targets hit, while for example Herald does better with places that have more than 5 targets, you know, because of its AoE nature, buffing Divine Storm, which is uncapped, reduced after 5 but uncapped, while Templar hits harder with its Hammer of Light, which it only hits up to 5 things. It's gonna be a really fun expansion. I'm really hyped to play it. We're gonna be able to play a small tidbit of the expansion on this Tuesday, because we're going to be able to play with these talents, you know, and that's gonna be fun. So on Tuesday I'm gonna be streaming some keys on the Dragonflight, but with these talents, which is gonna be interesting. With the stats that we have in Dragonflight currently, I'm just gonna go with Crusade, Radiant Glory, I think. And I'm gonna use Empyrean Legacy. Also, there's one nice interaction with Empyrean Legacy. Since it counts as 2 Holy Fire Spenders, it procs your Radiant Glory a bit more often whenever you use your Empyrean Legacy power thing. Because you can see here. So I'm gonna throw a Judgment and throw Holy Fire, and it counts. Yeah, see? It proc my my Radiant Glory because the Imperial Legacy counts as 2 Holy Fire Spenders. Now, if they fix the Divine Purpose interaction with Crusade, I would be super happy. That would be the best thing. Make like Crusade the de facto best build, I think, for Herald. Now it's good, but it could be better. The hierarchies are kind of hard to see at the moment. The problem with hierarchies is it's gonna depend a lot on augmentation because of the tank situation. You know, they made tanks a lot weaker, so when that happens, augmentation is stonks because augmentation buffs their main stat, giving them also more damage reduction. So if the keys on the higher level don't require too much, let's say, damage, and they're mostly about survivability, then augmentation is gonna be one of the places that one of the slots filled there. And when tanks are also weak, that means that they have to kite a lot. That means that melee characters are in a disadvantage because we don't function as well as range characters. So it's gonna depend a lot on how that situation develops. If tanks are as weak as we think, and it's gonna be another Shadowlands situation where tanks have to kite, range are just gonna be a lot better than us no matter what. You know, we can be one of the mid-range melee, but we're still melee, you know, so sadly we might not be there, and it would be a range meta at least the first patch of the expansion. But probably Blizzard is gonna fix that. You know, they did fix it in Shadowlands, making tanks a bit tankier so they can actually stand there and fight, and then melee take over. And when that happens, Retribution is probably going to be one of the better options on top, alongside probably Frost Death Knights if they don't get nerfed to the ground. Probably Frost Death Knight, Retribution Paladin, and I would say Shaman Healer or something like that would be really powerful because of the Shaman Mastery. Works both with Frost Death Knight and Paladin. We both specs love Mastery. And let's say we need an augmentation as the third slot if it's a melee meta. If it's a range meta, sadly, like I said, well, we're not there. we're not range. That would be my analysis. It depends on how tanks are. Anyways, guys, I think there's no more keys. Yeah, I can't seem to find any 10s. Let's see. Maybe there's one more. Yeah, there's no more 10s. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream there, guys. It was really fun to play the beta with the challenge now. Also give you guys the explanations. I did record some beta footage earlier, so I'm gonna put that out tomorrow in the morning around 9 AM Eastern time, so you guys can see, and I'm gonna also talk more over that and give you guys my commentary on that key that I run. So it's so you guys can see some more stuff, you know. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching, and well, have a great night. I'll see you probably on Tuesday, if not tomorrow. Maybe I stream tomorrow, but for sure on Tuesday.